Good morning, students. Today I am going to start the third chapter from the Buddhism. On that day we had completed the Jainism. Now we are going to start the Buddhism. Buddhism, who was the founder of the Buddhism? Lord Buddha. He was the founder of the Buddhism. It was started by Lord Buddha. He adopted middle path to spread his teachings. What was the difference between the Jainism and Buddhism was the Jainism, they adopted the harsh path forward to spread the teachings, and their teachings were very hard and the rules were hard, but they adopted the middle path that was not very harsh and not very lenient. So his teachings became, because of his middle path, his teachings became very popular not only in India but in the other countries also. Means they spread their teachings not only in India, but these teachings also became famous in the other countries. Why? Because Lord Buddha adopted the middle path. And life of the Buddha. Who was Buddha? His original name was Siddhartha, and he was born in, you have to underline these, his original name was Siddhartha, and he was born in Lumbini, that is the village which is found near the Kapila Vastu, and when he born in 567 BC, and his father name was Shishodhana, and he was the king of Kapila Vastu, and his mother name was Mahamaya, and he was married to Jashodhara, and his son name was Rahul, and he died in 487 BC at Kushinagar. You have to underline these all points. You can prepare the inside questions from them. His real name was Siddhartha. He born in Lumbini, that was in Kapila Vastu, and his father name was Shishodhana. He was the king of Kapila Vastu, and his mother name was Mahamaya, and he was married to Jashodhara, and his son name was Rahul, and he died in 487 BC at Kushinagar. So that was the life of Lord Buddha. You can see also in your book on page number 58. But when he was, after the 7 days, his mother Mahamaya was died, and he was brought up by his aunt. The name of his aunt was Gautami, and he was the brilliant child from the birth. And many teachers, spiritual teachers, pandits, they were saying at that time that he will become a great religious and the spiritual teacher one day. That was the prediction which was done by the religious teachers about the Lord Buddha. But they said that he will become the great teacher and the great religious leader in the future. And he mostly spent his time in thinking and in meditation. And next is the Great Renunciation, that is on page number 58. The Great Renunciation. Renunciation means to give up the house, to give up the own comforts of life. Okay, to give up the luxurious lifestyle. He went to the forest and he went to the Bodh Gaya, where he got the true knowledge. All the comforts of life did not give him peace, because he was the son of the king, and he was living in the palace. So all these comforts did not give him peace. He want to know about peace, how he can take a peace. The comforts of life did not give him a peace. So one day what happened? One day he went along with his charioteer. The name of his charioteer was Chana. Forward to the where he went. He went to the city. Forward to see the city life closely. He want to see the city life. So one day he went with his charioteer to see the city life. There he saw what he saw in the city. He saw that an old man was there, a sick man was there in city, a dead man was there, and an ascetic means sannyasi, who left his home. He became very sad, and after looking these persons, to the old man, a sick man, dead man, and ascetic, he became very sad and desire to find the solution of all this suffering. Suffering means sorrows. Now he find that not only he is sad, but the all people are sad in the city. Many people are there in the city who are sad. So now he want to find the solution of all these sadness. He want to find the solution of the suffering, of the sorrows of the people. He decided for that. To find the solution, he decided to renounce means give up the word. So what he did, one night when his wife and son, wife name was Dishodra and son name was Rahul, when they were sleeping, he left his palace and renounced the world at the age of 29. At the age of 29, he left his home for what? To find the truth. His event is known as renunciation. The time when he left his house to find the truth, to find the peace, that event is known as a renunciation. Students, clear what is a renunciation? Give up the all comforts of life and to find the truth. Next is attainment of supreme knowledge. He leave his house for what? To attain, to gain the true knowledge, the supreme knowledge. After a long day meditation under the peepal tree at Bodh Gaya. Now he went at Bodh Gaya and he sat under the peepal tree and he started to do meditation, and he got successful to get a true knowledge in 532. In 532 we see he got the true knowledge, that is also known as the supreme knowledge, and after getting the knowledge he came to be known as the Buddha or the enlightened one. His real name was Siddhartha, but after gaining the knowledge he was known as the Lord Buddha and the enlightened one who got the knowledge. At the Bodh Gaya where he got the knowledge, now there is a temple. The name of that temple is Mahabodhi temple. You can see in the picture also, that is the Mahabodhi temple. It is situated at Bodh Gaya where the Lord Buddha got supreme knowledge. Next is teachings of the Buddha. Like the Mahavira, his teachings also divided into two parts: Four Noble Truths, and second are the Eightfold Path. You can see the Four Noble Truths and second the Eightfold Path. You have to underline this. First is the Four Noble Truth. First truth was, this world is full of misery and sorrow. He found that the whole world is full of sorrow, and the cause of the real reason behind the sorrows is our desires. The cause of our sorrows is our desire, and how we can end this desire, end the sorrows? We can end the sorrows by killing our desires, and the desire can be killed by the following eightfold path. By following these all rules, we can kill our desire. So 4 noble truths. First is the world is full of sorrow. Second, the main reason of our sorrow is our desires. And the sorrow can be ended by killing the desire, and the desire can be killed by following the eightfold path. That is the eightfold path. By following these 8 rules, right belief, right thought, right living, right effort, right mindfulness, meditation, right action and right speech. By following these rules, we can end our desires. Students, clear? The teachings of Lord Buddha divided into 2 parts, 4 noble truths, and second are the eightfold path. You can see in your book also on page number 59 the teachings of Lord Buddha, 4 noble truths and the eightfold path. That is important. It is also in long question answers. Now next is other teachings. In spite of eightfold path and the 4 noble truths, the other teachings are also there. First is stress on ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-injury to living things. He told the people to follow the ahimsa, not to injure the living things. Second, nirvana. He also told to follow the nirvana. Nirvana means salvation. Salvation means to get freedom from the cycle of life and death. He stressed on that also. Next is karma theory. Karma theory means he also repeated the karma theory and said that everyone has to reap the fruit of his good or bad deeds. That is on page number 60. He tell the people to do such type of works, to do the good works, because by doing the good we can get a good. So he tell us to follow the karma theory. Next is no faith in ritual. Rituals are the ceremonies which are related to any religions. As we had done Jajnas, these were the rituals which were performed by the people related to Hinduism. He was against such rituals and he didn't believe in these rituals. Equality of all men. He focused on the equality of all men. He said that all people are equal. There is no caste system. He was against the caste system because that was in the Hinduism. The people were divided into 4 castes, but he was against this casteism. He said that all people are equal, all men are equal. Silence about God, but he did not speak a single word about the God. He is silent about the existence of the God. And next is a code of don'ts. That is on page number 60. He tell us what we should not do. We should not to kill, not to steal, not to hanker after wealth, means we should not become mad, we should not be greed after for the wealth, and not to tell a lie, we should not tell lie, and not to commit impure acts, not to wish for others, we should not wish for the property of others, not to use bad language, and not to be angry. These are the things which we should not do. We should not kill any animal, any bird, we should not steal anything of others, okay, and we should not tell lie, or we should not wish the property of others. On page number 60, there is a value education, that is the Tripitaka. What are the Tripitakas? Underline this. The Tripitakas are the earliest collection of Buddhist. These are the collection of teachings of Lord Buddha. You have to underline this. First line, the Tripitaka is the earliest collection of Buddhist teachings. And what is the meaning of Tripitaka? Its meaning is 3 baskets which are full with the teachings of Lord Buddha. So 3 Pitakas are related with the teachings of Lord Buddha. Now next is spread of Buddhism. Where the Buddhism spread? It spread in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Tibet. You have to underline the names of these countries. China, Japan, Thailand, Indochina, other countries in Central Asia and Southeast Asia. It spread in these countries, not only in India, but the teachings of Lord Buddha also became popular in the other countries. Buddhism became popular as it was preached in the common language in Prakriti, not in Sanskrit. Why it became so famous? Because the teachings of Lord Buddhas were not taught in the Sanskrit. That was very difficult for the people to understand. It was taught in the Prakritic language, that was the common language at the time. The people can easily under this language, so that's why it also became very popular. People welcomed this, and the people welcomed this religion, the teachings of the Lord Buddha. Next, contribution of Buddhism to Indian culture. What we got from Buddhism? First, the reform of Hinduism. Because of the Buddhism, the many changes came in the Hindu religion which were found in the Indian society at that time. The first rule which was followed by the Buddhism, that was the ahimsa, means non-injury to living beings, living things. And in Hinduism they performed the yajnas, and what they do in these yajnas, they sacrifice the life of animals. But the Buddhism was against the ahimsa, so it also put effect on the performance of the costly yajnas. Now they started to change, Hinduism started to change in the performance of the costly yajnas. And the second, the practice of worshipping personal god and making temples, also adopted by Hinduism from Buddhism. In the second chapter we had read that at the time during the Aryan civilization, the temples were not there. They worshipped the god openly. But now in Buddhism, the people started to construct the temples, to construct the buildings which were related to Lord Buddha. Now Hindus, they also started to follow the Buddhism, and they also started to construct the temples to worship their god. And next is education. The Buddhism also put effect on the education system. Of how they put effect on education system, you can see on page number 61. The Buddhist monastery developed into great educational centers. Buddhist monasteries where the monks who adopted the Buddhism, they lived, and these monasteries converted into the educational centers. And the names of famous universities which were found, these were the Nalanda, you have to underline Nalanda, Taxila, Vikramashila, etc. And they attracted scholars from the other countries of the world, and the many scholars started to came in these universities for what? To get a education. So Buddhism also affect the education system. Next is development of literature. Literature means the books which were related to Buddhism. Many books were written at the time which were related to Lord Buddha. After Buddha's death, his teachings were collected and compiled in Tripitakas. I told you the teachings of Lord Buddhas are collected in Tripitakas. These are also known as the three baskets, and the Jatakas. These are also the books related to Buddhism. And the last is Buddhist art and architecture. Art and architecture means the stupas and the buildings, the pillars which were related to Lord Buddha, the caves, the important caves, the stupas at Sanchi, the stone pillars of Ashoka, and the cave temples are the best examples of the Buddhist art and architecture. These are the buildings, these are the caves which are related to Lord Buddhas. So next on page number 62, the box is given here. You can see I'm going to define this. What is this? What is given in this box? You have to prepare this for inside question answers. The two kings who adopted the Buddhism, the name of These kings were Ashoka and the Kanishka. You can see here two kings who did much to spread Buddhism. They were the Ashoka and Kanishka. These are the names of the kings who adopted the Buddhism, and they made the efforts to spread the Buddhism not only in India but in other parts of the country also. The Kanishka, he was the greater patron of Buddhism. The second name of the king, Kanishka, he was the great patron. Patron means he supported the Buddhism. He gave grants. What he did for Buddhism, he gave grants and donations for the construction of monasteries, vihars and stupas. These are related to Buddhism. Stupas, vihars and monasteries. To construct these buildings, he gave grants, he gave money. And second, under his patronage means under his support, the last Buddhist council. These are the councils related to Buddhism. He organized the last Buddhist council in Kashmir. And after the death of Lord Buddha, the Buddhism was divided into two sects. You have to underline Mahayana and Hinayana. You have to underline this. That is also important. Our chapter is complete, and I hope you understand the chapter Jainism and Buddhism. Thank you. Have a nice day.